Alright, so welcome back, and this video is going to be on kind of telling the difference when to start with the law of sines and when to start with the law of cosines. And I mean, this should be pretty straightforward, more of a review, or maybe you've just been wrestling in math class and just saying, you know what, I get how to do each one. I get when I need, when I know which one is up, then I can do it, but I don't know when to decide when to use which one. And so that's all this video is. Hopefully you have learned how to already do the law of sines. If not, you can go watch a couple videos that I've got on my channel of those, or you also should already know how to do the law of cosines. And this video really is just going to talk about when I'm staring at a triangle, say this guy right here. I've got a triangle A, B, C with side A, side B, and side C. Not a right triangle, just some random triangle given to us. How do I know when to use law of sines or law of cosines when they're asking me to solve for the triangle? So law of sines, right, is really helpful when you know a complete proportion or a complete fraction. So say that you know angle B and you know side B. So let's say we know angle B and we know side B, okay? Then if I'm going to use law of sines, that means I need to know either angle A or angle C, for that matter, to find side A. So if you're taking a look here, maybe a scenario would look like that. I know angle A, I know angle B, and I know side B. So for law of sines, you would have something like angle, angle, side. And so the beginning information, right, the given info, I guess, if we're looking at what that is, right, given info in the problem, whether it's a word problem or just a standard solve this triangle problem, or maybe it's true, false, matching, I don't know, whatever quiz tests, worksheets you're doing with these triangles, the three pieces of information that are given, if it's angle, angle, side, you would go with law of sines, because as you can see here, we can create a proportion where you would only have one variable needed. It would also allow you to find the third angle. The other one, say you were given something else, in the same vein would be angle, side, angle, okay? And that would also work. The last one that would work would be if you are given, right, if you're given two sides, say A and C, and then say we're given angle C, okay? If you're taking a look now with me at this, right, so we know A, we know C, and we know angle C. So if we were going to use this fraction with this fraction, that would leave us only finding side angle A, and we could do that with the law of sines. So that would be side, side, angle. But as we know, with side, side, angle, this one presents a few scenarios, so we need to make sure that we are careful and we know the scenarios. If you don't know the scenarios of what that presents to you when you're given side, side, angle, I'm not going over that in this video. You can go and watch my law of sines video on the ambiguous case, but that's still going to be a scenario where you use law of sines, okay? The other law, right, our law of cosines, okay? When would you use law of cosines? You would use law of cosines when you're still finding a missing side or a missing angle, but the information that's given to you is a little different. So you have to know like two sides at least. So you have to know two sides at least, but then you would have to know like the angle that they create. And so in this scenario, you would be able to find side C over here because you know A, B, right? And you know angle C. So that scenario, the given info is side, angle, side. Right? That's the given info. Once again, whether it be word problems or whatever, if they start you off with side, angle, side, then you know you're going to law of cosines, because that would then allow us to find the opposite side. The third one, or the other one, that you know you need to use law of cosines would be if you knew all three sides. Because if you knew all three sides, right, so take this for example, you know A, you know B, you know C, then that would leave you with the opportunity to find angle A. So if I'm given side, 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 then I know I need to use law of cosines. Okay? And so that's kind of the when to use it. And that's really all I want to go over. The how to use it, hopefully you already know that. And if you don't, please feel free to go to my other videos. They'll be posted at the end of this video, and you can click on that and go there, a playlist of them. But nonetheless, this is when you would use it. And it's really important to know when you would use it, because you don't want to sit there and try both of them, because both won't work in a scenario, right? To start you right off, it really is dependent on what three pieces of information you're given, and so you really want to draw a picture and you want to know when you would use it. The last thing I will say is that your side-side angle, right, scenario, which we would use law of sines, okay, that is the only one where we have this idea of the ambiguous case, right? None of the other ones deal with this. This is the ambiguous case where you can get the 0, 1, or 2, depending on the scenario, 0, 1, or 2 triangles. All the others, right? So angle, angle, side, angle, side, angle, side, angle, side, and side, side, side. All those, there's only strictly one triangle. If you walk away with something where it says like error on your calculator or something, just check your work. Maybe you did it wrong. But if you're given any of those four scenarios, it's just going to be one triangle. You solve for it, boom, you're done. If you're given side-side angle, then you got to know the scenarios and you got to go to work. Okay, so let's mess around just real easily. Just going to ask the question. If you want to hit pause, go ahead, right? Feel free to hit pause. And you can just run through these real quick. If you can take a look at them and decide, I know I would use law of sines or law of cosines, that'd be great. Maybe you'll give a y. You would choose yours. If you don't like looking at it this way, list it out with the information given. You can always draw a picture, but I'm not going to draw a picture because I don't think it'll fit. So if you want to hit pause now. Otherwise, spoiler alert, here come the answers. Okay? So, starting off, looks like I'm given side A, because it's lowercase, and side C. And then angle B is 40 degrees. And if you kind of picture the triangles, because by now hopefully you've drawn plenty of them, side B would be across from angle B. So side B is not given to us, so we actually are given the two sides that create angle B, and so that's side angle side. Therefore, I know I'm going to start off with law of cosines. Okay, so pretty straightforward, and it's just good practice so we know what we've got. We've got side A, we've got side B. I don't have side C, which would be across from angle C, so I've got the same scenario, side angle side. So I'd use the law of cosines again. Look at me, I'm getting worse, just abbreviating, getting lazy. All right, so we got angle A, it's acute, and then I have side A across from it, and then I also have side B, which would be adjacent to it. So I actually do have side angle, so I am definitely going to use law of sines. Okay, definitely using law of sines. Now, whether I have 0 or 2 triangles, I'm not sure. Okay. Next, looks like we've got all three sides. Hopefully you know what you're using there. Side, side, side. Once again, would be law of cosines. Look at that. It's gotten even worse. I've abbreviated even more. Next, I've got angle A. I've got angle B. And then I have side C, which would not be across from either of those angles, so it's probably in between them. Not probably, most definitely is. So we have angle, side, angle. And that would be a law of sines scenario. And then the last one, angle C is 95, and then we have side B, which would be adjacent to it, and side C is across from it, and this is angle side side. Again, oh, I don't want to write a bad word. I don't want it to get taken down from YouTube. So side side angle, and so then it would be law of sines, and if you know your scenarios, that would only have one triangle. So it's easy as that. The rest is you actually having to know how to do the math of it, but I think it's helpful to know when you would use which one, or when you would start with which one, so that you can feel confident in the way that you're going to solve. Okay, that's it. Videos will post if you want to watch how to actually do law of sines and law of cosines. But good luck to you, and have a great day.